walleye right now. That is, if it was a good fishing opener. Let's find out as we check in with him now live. RJ?
What have you been putting in your orange juice there, my boy? I tell you what, we didn't catch any fish up here today. There were a few northerns caught, but very, very few walleye, Scott. As a matter of fact, somebody just told us that up around Ely and up in the Arrowwood country, we've had a report of a 12 and a 14-pound walleye up there. That has yet to be verified, but of course the ice just went out up in that region just a couple of days ago, and of course the walleye are very active right around spawning time. But right here it's been so doggone windy, but wind certainly did not hamper everything because the show must go on today, and it did. Early morning, and Governor Arnie Carlson led his staff to the dock on Lake Darling's North Shore. A light breeze, a walleye chop. This was gonna be dynamite. Turns out dynamite would have been a good idea. Lunchtime rolled around and not a walleye in the boat.
Oh, this is what Minnesota's all about. We've had a long winter. This is the celebration of spring. No, I look forward to going out again.
It's a beautiful, sunshiny day.
Can't beat
And
it.
we might go out again this afternoon and see if we can have a little better luck.
Undaunted, the spirit of Capitol Hill returned to the lake in the afternoon. It must have been the higher winds that caused a better walleye chop. This time, upon return, a live well full of fish, and the governor promptly went into his catch and release mode. Well, that catch and release mode, of course, included northern, but they are pike, and it is the pike season. You didn't see any walleye there, Scott. And as we toss it back to you, I do want to point out one thing. I was in the boat today. Unbeknownst to me, we had a cellular phone in the boat, and all of a sudden I hear this ringing. What's going on? I end up answering a phone, and the voice on the other end says, RJ, this is Don. Where are they biting? They're not biting over on my lake here. He's up here. How he found my telephone number in the boat, I will never know, but I know now why he used to work for the I-team.
You didn't give him any hot points, did you?
I couldn't give him any. There weren't any.
Okay, thanks, RJ.
All right, you bet.
Well, very few athletes attract attention for mistakes the way Michael Jordan does. After all, his faux pas are few and far between. This afternoon at New York, Jordan missed a slam dunk and missed it big. The ball bounces all the way back to midcourt. The crowd and the Knicks got a charge out of that. New York took the lead, but Michael avenged his embarrassing miscue, scoring 32 points to lead the Bulls to an 8-point win at the Garden. This series is physical and intense. Jordan with an in-your-face after he gets fouled on this play. The Bulls have won 8 straight playoff games on the road. That is an NBA record. And the final today, 94-86 over the Knicks. Phoenix a winner against Portland, 124-117. The Trailblazers trailing by 17 in the first quarter. Clyde the Glide Drexler, living up to his nickname, leading the comeback. But the Suns' bench was just too deep. Dan Marley off the pass here from Jeff Hornacek for 2 of his 25 points. The Suns will try to knot that series at 2 games apiece on Monday in Phoenix. Well, the Twins will try to follow up on last night's 7-4 victory over Cleveland at the Dome. The Indians will start Dave Otto. The Twins, John Smiley, looking for his first win at the Metrodome, 7:05 tonight. Roger Clemens' shutout was threatened in the 8th inning in Kansas City, but with 2 on, 2 out, the Rocket strikes out Brent Mayne. Clemens earning his 31st career shutout. It was a 3-hitter over hopeless Kansas City, 5-0. And Oakland is leading New York right now, 5-1. Wrigley Field, a great place to watch baseball. Just ask Cub manager Jim Lefevre. Although watching this wasn't so pleasant, Sammy Sosa and Jerome Walton, a pair of Cubs in a bear hug. After that collision, Walton ended up with a bruised cheek and a baseball. Chicago wins it 3-1. The Mets over the Dodgers 5-2. Montreal beats San Francisco 9-3. And coming up at 10, we'll have a report on Vikings minicamp and 2 long shots who believe they might make it in the NFL. Hey, you got a dream.
Absolutely.
Just like Ralph, dreaming up there of fish.
Big fish. We'll be right back.
Princess to the Caribbean. It's more than a cruise. It's the Love Boat.
very funny. Open the door, please, right now. Open. Hi. Excuse me. Hello, Domino's?
Call now for America's favorite pizza feast with pepperoni, sausage, and mushroom. A medium's just $8.99.
I've got a Domino's pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's.
Dodge Dakota 4x4 Club Cab with an available new Magnum V8. Out hauls, out tows, just plain out works any comparable Ford, Chevy, or import compact. Now, Dakota, just voted Four-Wheeler Magazine's Pickup of the Year, has $750 cash back. So make it your choice during the Dodge Dare to Compare Challenge. See your Dodge dealer today and compare.
If you thought the last I-Team series was good, if you thought the last I-Team series was eye-opening, wait until you see what crawls out from under the latest rock they've turned over. An I-Team series you won't want to miss. Monday.
Some kids, they feel their life's a mess. You know, nothing goes their way. And they think nobody understands them. So what do? They run away.
Running on Empty, Sunday night at Dimension on Channel 4.
They disappeared without a trace. Now he's in jail for their murder. Is it justice? Watch Inside Edition.
Monday night at 10:35 on Channel 4.
On this fishing opener, what about the people abandoned by their fishing spouses?
Yeah, what about those folks? Well, many people thought it'd be a good time to check out Valley Fair. Why not? The amusement park opened today for its 17th season. New this year is a water ride called the Wave. I think Scott Reynolds is out there. Your 50-foot plunge creates a 30-foot wave needed today to cool off, to say the least. Wow. Looks like fun.
It does. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you at 10.
See you later.
Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick. Super rich, long-lasting, and 60 fabulous shades.
You may cook with some look-alike stuff,
but it won't cook enough like the Vita.
They're thin, or they're pale, or they'll run.
But the Vita marches on.
Velveeta cooks better.
Minnesota Twins baseball on MSC.
The Twins play host to the Red Sox Tuesday night at 7 on Channel 4.
With David Otto pitching, it was automatic offense for the Twins tonight. The Twins batted around in the first. Chili Davis drove home a pair to open the onslaught. This double bringing in Shane Mack and Chuck Knobloch. It was 2-0 Twins. The Indians had their infield drawn in, enabling Pedro Munoz to slap that line shot to left. Davis scored. Twins led 4-0. Oh, the Twins liked what they saw from their left-hander, though. John Smiley getting his first win at the Dome, where he's looked more like Otto until tonight. Oh, Otto, he's about 6'7". Maybe he should have tried basketball. 2 wild pitches. He gave up 10 runs and 11 hits. The Indians left him in because they don't have much else for pitching. Shane Mack crushed this one, a 3-run shot, his 5th-round tripper, and you started feeling a little bit sorry for Otto. At the end of that movie, Major League, the Indians won a pennant. It'll be a long time before that's a true story. Twins win it 10-5 at the Metrodome tonight. Elsewhere in the American League, Clemens with his 31st career shutout. Boston over KC 5-0. Oakland over New York 5-3. In Texas, it's in the 5th, and the Rangers lead the Brewers 4-3. Baltimore over Chicago 5-2. Billy Ripken in that game saw his life flash before his eyes tonight. He was beamed in the head by Alex Fernandez. Ripken was dazed but survived the scare with apparently just a Major League headache. We hope so. National League tonight. Los Angeles losing at New York 5-2. It was the Cubbies 3-1 over Cincinnati. Montreal beating San Francisco 9-3. San Diego wins at Philadelphia 5-1. Pittsburgh shutting out Houston 3-0. Atlanta leading St. Louis 11-5. That's in the 7th. Well, for the first time in 40 years, the Montreal Canadiens have been swept in a best-of-7 series. Boston was ready for a garden party at the expense of the Habs. After years of frustration against Montreal, the Bruins have eliminated the Canadiens 3 straight years. Dave Poulin scored on the power play for the only goal that Andy Moog needed. The Bruins complete the sweep of the Canadiens. 2-0 is the final in that one. And in Pittsburgh, that series is tied at 2. The Penguins in overtime over New York 5-4. Well, the Timberwolves can't even win if they win the NBA's draft lottery. A sports agent who requested anonymity has told the Orlando Sentinel that Shaquille O'Neal will refuse to play for the Wolves if they win the lottery and take him with that first pick. The report says O'Neal's agent has sent a letter to the NBA and to the Wolves indicating O'Neal's refusal to play for Minnesota. But if the Wolves don't win the lottery a week from tomorrow, of course, it's all a moot point. Now a lesson in dunking the basketball. The how-to from New York's Gerald Wilkins, who wasn't golfing today, believe it or not. He was busy in the NBA playoffs, and boy, he hit a nice dunk today against the Chicago Bulls. And that's not them either. That's the Phoenix Suns. Boy, they were shooting from the outside, forgetting the dunk today. That was Marley hitting the long shot for them. Let's just go to the NBA scoreboard and take a look at how they turned out, because these are 2-1 series right now. New York is leading Chicago, lost to Chicago today, and the Bulls lead that 2-1, and the Blazers 124-117 over Portland. In that game, it was the long shooting that made the difference. Marley hit the three-pointers, and Hornacek hit some three-pointers. There's Marley from outside the '88 Olympian having his way with the long shot. And the Suns really heated up. Tom Chambers with his long-range version. Portland tried to mount a comeback. Marley wouldn't let the Blazers catch up, though. He just kept firing away. The Suns improved their home record to 39-5. They are still down 2-1. Well, have you ever applied for a job knowing that you have about a 1 in a million chance of getting it? That's about the odds against some of the players who worked out at the Vikings' 2-day minicamp that wrapped up today. It's tough enough to be a free agent from a small college trying to break into the NFL, but the task becomes even more monumental for number 73, Brian Dahl. He grew up in Kennedy, Minnesota, and went to Moorhead State. Dahl's too small to play defensive end in the NFL, so he's also trying to learn a new position, linebacker.
There's a lot to be. It's going to take me a long time to learn it. You know, I just can't pick it up in one, but hopefully I can pick it up piece by piece and put it together at the end.
Dahl came to camp number 1 in one category, adrenaline.
He showed a lot of aggressiveness. I think he wanted to tackle and go full speed live, but you can't do that in sweat clothes yet. But he was, you know, he's excited like any rookie should be, you know, and that's what you're looking for right now.
I'm not going to quit if I just don't make this team, you know. I'll probably come back next year and give another shot.
Another Minnesota native has gone from the top to the bottom. Offensive tackle Brent Griffith from Little Falls in Minnesota Duluth made it to the Super Bowl with the Buffalo Bills, but just recently got cut by a World League team once some NFL teams sent their fringe players to camp.
The worst thing about it is these guys came in, didn't even practice, and they automatically got a spot on the team. After that was done, I said that I went home and talked to my wife about it, and I honestly thought that was my football career was done after that.
But for many young men, the dream doesn't end, as long as some NFL team is willing to invite them to camp. Oh, and talk about long shots. Just look at what Billy Mayfair did at the Atlanta Classic this afternoon. 210-yard par 3 with the 4-iron, just like Brad Good on his days off.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in.
Ooh, I wish.
Unbelievable. And an amateur leads that, by the way, after 3 rounds, David Duval. That's even more unbelievable, probably, than this shot.
Nice sports show. Nice job. We'll be right back.
Jack and Mary are finally getting around to their first barbecue.
Honey, it's cold.
Just a second, dear.
But, honey, it's cold.
Too bad they don't know about all the new burger and chicken sandwiches at Perkins. Each one a tremendous feast. So come on in.
Maybe you should add more lighter fluid?
Besides, it's nice and warm inside.
The Acura Vigor is the perfect balance of luxury and performance. Leather-trimmed seats and fine wood accents make its interior as tasteful as it is functional. A 176-horsepower engine and superior handling make it as exciting to drive as it is to look at. While the Acura Luxury Lease program makes the Vigor very appealing.
Wacker arrived in hopes of turning around the Gopher football program. It's clear that other coaches see his sport as the biggest and easiest target for cutbacks. Trimming that could help the university reach gender equity.
I'm definitely opposed to cutting men's opportunities and sports in general, but I think you're going to have to look at ways to reduce maybe some of the numbers in the larger sports.
Hockey coach Doug Woog says that in a utopian world, the university would have the same amount of male and female athletes. But he's not so sure it's realistic.
I'm a little concerned about the socialism factor. You can have everything that you want, just like Canadians have free medicine, but their taxes are horrible. You know, I'm afraid if we give everything to anybody just because they're a human being, that the socialization will break you. It breaks the incentive fiber, and it breaks the bank.
That's the age-old question. Who's going to be able to pay for the women to play?
You know, if you open it up for the student body, would they like another 3% on their tuition to pay for gender equity? You get a real interesting response.
If the university and the Big Ten attain gender equity, they have to be careful not to put themselves behind the competitive 8-ball. For instance, if football gets cut in the process and other football powers around the country don't follow suit, sports revenue to help pay for equity could be even harder to come by at the ticket office. Scott Reynolds, WCCO Television Sports.
Like we said, a lot more questions than answers right now. Well, as a Minnesota Gopher, Sean Lumpkin made an impression, especially
because they know they're going to have to fight this thing tooth and nail to get people back to the track.
For Art and Gretchen Eaton of Cannon Falls, all the signs for the future of horse racing in Minnesota point in the wrong direction. The problem with many Minnesota thoroughbreds is that they just can't cut it racing elsewhere like Chicago or Kentucky. The competition is just too good. So if Canterbury Downs closes, their future is bleak.
A lot of these horses are going to end up going to slaughter because there's no need for them. It's just a real hard deal. I guess you can't help but get attached to these animals that you take care of. And, you know, you watch these mares fall, and how can you not get attached?
Everyone we talk to calls Canterbury a great place to race. It's just not a very busy place. And they say unless there's off-track betting, young colts can rest assured they'll never race at Canterbury Downs. Scott Reynolds, WCCO Television News.
A decision on off-track betting could come from the Minnesota Supreme Court early next month, but many horsemen and women agree that could be just too late to save Canterbury. Everyone from veterinarians to hay farmers, from horse haulers to jockeys, anxiously await the court's ruling.
Here's the latest news coming into the WCCO TV newsroom. At around 8:30 tonight, the woman in the back of this ambulance was rescued from her car that had plunged into the Mississippi River near downtown Minneapolis. Witnesses